Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and when I splutter into a cough just to begin, you can tell it's going to be an interesting state of affairs already. It's also a bit of an interesting affair that I'm actually getting into the habit of recording on this side of the room for this, as opposed to just putting my camera on my ring light over there and just getting started from there. So, I've got 17 weeks left to go, ladies and gentlemen. That is all that stands between me and desperately needing to know what's going to happen. Because on one hand, I kind of do understand that, change in my life is just, it's one of those things that should just happen naturally. Whether or not I have any say in it is kind of like irrelevant, unlike other previous sections of my life. This is just, again, one of those things I have to accept, and I've got to go with it. Which, again, let's just review the situation, and let's sort of assess exactly what the situation really is before we can go any further. Okay, the situation is this. I've got 17 weeks left of my regular job, and what I've got to do in the meantime is either A, find another job before the end of June, B, make my stuff on YouTube work so that I can actually earn a very substantial monthly income, something that might actually surpass my current rate of pay that I do for my current job, C, hold on to my job until the very day of my redundancy payment and literally let itself work itself up from there, in which, I can just, get some work at the last minute and, just get what I need to out of where I currently work. D, go through to the end of June, get my redundancy payment, and then stay as unemployed as long as it's humanly possible, and then actually dedicate all of my waking hours to not only finding work, but also to making my stuff on YouTube work. E, explain as well as I possibly can that, well, actually, no, like going back to D for a second, even if I still was, back on Universal Credit, which I kind of want to remove that from the question immediately, because I swore to myself when I got back into work nearly 3 years ago, there was absolutely no way in hell I was ever going back on Universal Credit. There's just no way that's going to happen. But this would open up maybe some more time to actually pursue doing some work experience for something like 12 Yard Productions, or one of those studios that's operating in the Northeast. And it would be a lot easier to do, much easier now, because I actually have a license and my work experience as being what you might call a freelance broadcaster, an editor, special effects guy. There's plenty of things to be done, and these are very valuable skills, not to mention the things I have in writing and all the things I can showcase. There's D. It makes the thing where D is kind of, it's not as bad as it might first sound. In any case, that might be the one I have to resort to. Or there's option E. And at some point in the next 17 weeks, I win the lottery, or I win a lump sum, where even if it's not going to, keep me away from work forever, because in many ways I wouldn't mind actually still working. If, let's say, I won even so much as like £1 million, for example, it wouldn't actually stop me from working, but it would keep me to work. It would give me a lot more options in terms of like maybe even upgrading my setup around here, because to be honest, the setup I've got here, it kind of needs a bit of a makeover a bit. So, for example, I know there's like supply boxes. I could just go, I could literally drive to Tesco's right now and buy about 15 boxes right there. Literally empty all of my books from my shelves, stick them in my closet, just to open up the space a bit in here a bit. Because I think, to be honest, if I took all of this stuff down, including my, my shelves over there with my DVDs, and stack on top of that is like my toiletries and other necessities and stuff like that, I reckon we could open up make this place almost seem like an actual office, not just my bedroom. Because to be honest, this room operates as many different things. It's where I sleep. It's sometimes where I have my morning tea. It is also where I have to get changed. It's also where all my clothes are just sort of stagnating. It's also where I come to read, relax, make videos, edit videos, publish videos, broadcast videos, make thumbnails, make illustrations, make special effects, read some more, and finally print documents, do what I need to for my parents, and just try to get a good night's sleep at the end of the day. So it's and I think, again, moving a lot of this stuff out of here or moving it into there, it's the only problem really with that is that most of my stuff really, like, okay, first of all, these things right here, the boxes stacked here, they absolutely can go in the closet. And even moving the shelving unit would actually be kind of good, just to open a bit of space. But really, it's hard pressed to tell really if there's anything else that kind of like needs to be like moved. Like it doesn't really like give off a great deal of space. Though, if I'm being honest, maybe like stuff on the shelves absolutely can be transported and stuff like that. So the room might look a bit more spare, and it might not look a little bit too claustrophobic, because sometimes I do come in here and I do think it is a bit claustrophobic, and I might actually maybe even get round to like filling up more of the wall with my my soundproof padding, which is just part of the process really for making these videos. I might even go with the whole hog of like doing like the underside of my desk, just so there'll be less sound come through and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure if it would really work like that, but again, it would give me more opportunities to like maybe do this into like a little recording studio. But then again, I suppose I could use my closet, but we'll have to cross that bridge whenever we really need to cross it. So in summary, ladies and gentlemen, there's actually quite a lot of options open to me, but whether or not I actually take them, or rather I make them work to the best of my ability, is absolutely going to be down to one person, the autocrat of this little empire we're running. It's all going to come down to me. And that's actually quite something I'm actually looking forward to. There's the responsibility, there's the coordination, there's the dedication, the workmanship, just the general feeling of taking care and taking responsibility. I know it's only the 2nd of March, ladies and gentlemen, but even still, I could take you all the way back to the 1st of January, and how that day ended by me saying that, look at all the things I've done here, and literally all of my family treated it as though it was like any other day, and that there was nothing special in what I did. And that was just the first day, and I've got to go through the rest of the year. And what if I'm on the receiving end of like a similar display of, inaffection and, unenterprising shrugs and disapproving looks? That's the sort of fate I want to avoid much as possible. Not because I'm satisfied or dissatisfied with pleasing people that I have to interact with and see on a daily basis, whether they are family or otherwise, but by the time we get to only 100 days left of my time and work, which is only about, I think it's 3 weeks away today, because I'm recording this on Thursday. So I think maybe in 3 weeks, I'll actually start writing a bit of an essay of mine. Maybe something that would reflect on on the entire period where I've been in work so far. I think that's what I'll do. I'm conducting my own personal war, ladies and gentlemen. The war for dignity and self-respect. And curiously enough, I think it's a war I can win, if nothing other. So that's that, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see all of you guys again for next week for another little announcement, where we're only 16 weeks to go. So we better get started.